All right, guys. Thanks for all you guys coming on to the call tonight. Me and Emmy are taking over when Carolyn's at a concert with her sister. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Carolyn W.
Oh, can you hit record?
I did. Got it.
Okay, cool.
I've been a coach since December, and I actually just got promoted to Diamond in July, which I worked my butt off for, and I actually had my best month as a coach yet, earning 30 Success Club points. And each month I've made it a non-negotiable goal to hit Success Club, which will ultimately help my goal of becoming elite at Summit next year because I want to walk across that stage. When I first started out as a coach, like many of you on this call, I have to admit that I was completely overwhelmed. And honestly, I didn't think I would be able to swing it because I have a full-time job, a freelance job, and I'm really close to my family, so I didn't want to be on social media all the time. The one thing that flustered me and had me in panic mode each day was the fact that we had to post 3 times a day on our social media pages. Now, I don't know about you, but I had no idea what the hell to post each day and what to say with it. I was too worried about finding the perfect thing to post when I should have been worrying about the right thing to post. So I began researching top coaches and what they were doing with their posts and came across the wonderful Chalene Johnson with her Marketing Impact Academy. And she recommended planning out my posts each month or even a week in advance. And I was like, planning? Hell yeah, that's for me. So I did. I started to create a little table for myself that I had the day of the week and the 3 post topics that I would have for that day. So to give you an idea, I would have Monday and I would do an motivational post, a workout, and a recipe. And for instance, like today, I did a health benefit post, a program, and then I'll do a workout. I make each day different and make sure I'm not screaming Beachbody or the fact that I'm on a fitness journey. It is more important to focus on what type of information you would want to see on a fitness page rather than what you're trying to sell. Think of it as you want to be your target, your perfect fitness influencer. So you want to post what you think people want from you. So with the help of my table, I began to write out and schedule each post for the next month. This might sound like it takes like a lot of time, but honestly it doesn't. I focus on 3 days at a time or get all my workout posts finished and then move on to the next topic. Rome wasn't built in a day, so start off small. Dedicate an hour or 2 on a weekend instead of just watching TV, or even do it when you're watching TV. You can completely multitask and get the job done. I put a sample of my posting schedule template in the file section of the team page already, and it's also in the Google Drive. So feel free to use this and ask me any questions you may have. This has been a huge time saver for me, and I'm happy to share it with you as it helped me become successful, and I can only hope it helps you. I'm all about the organization, schedules, and lists. I used to take me about 20 minutes per post at crunch time, and now it takes me 30 seconds because all I do is copy and paste what I have already written. What I would suggest for you all to do is start building a library of photos, like of workouts, motivation, recipes, benefits, memes, or anything that you find interesting that other people will want to see. Then save these in a folder on either your computer, or I like to use Google Drive because then I have it on my computer and my phone. And build up that library so you're not struggling at the last minute to figure out what to post. And feel free to copy and paste whatever you see the top coaches doing because obviously it's working because they're top coaches. And I know I'm throwing a little bit of a lot of information at you, but regards to posting, but it's also extremely important not to boast Beachbody or say the names of the program that you're promoting. Because you will come across, I think at least, because you'll come across as a greasy salesperson that people will only think that you're in it for the money, which you're not. You're on this team to help others with their journeys, so sell them on the fact that you will be with them every step of the way and how you are going to do that. I don't know about you, but every time I see a coach post about a Beachbody challenge group, I cringe inside because I think of them as that greasy salesperson who, why would I want them as a coach if all they're in it for is the sale? I don't know if that's actually true for everybody, but that's what it comes off for me. By posting about your story or sharing someone else's story, like our progress photos, you're being genuine and transparent, showing people you're in this for the right reasons and will be there for them to help them on their own goals. And you're not just going to give up on them as soon as they buy the challenge back. When they see you are helping others along with yourself, people will be more willing to join your next group. So the last thing I will leave you with is to never be afraid of to be who you are and post what you think someone will want to learn from you. And with that, I'm going to leave it off to Emmy.
Good transition. Okay, can y'all hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay, my microphone's crappy. But, all right, so Carolyn had asked me to come on this call and talk to you guys about the importance, like Carolyn said, of sharing your story and specifically just being really transparent on social media. And I thought it was kind of ironic, actually, that she asked me to talk about that because when I first started a few months ago, I was like never on Facebook. I kind of like lurked on Facebook, but I never posted anything really. And it was something that I really struggled with as a new coach to get over that fear of posting at all, much less like sharing like, the nitty-gritty stuff. But it's really one of the most important things you can do, I think. And I think with social media in general, if you're not careful, it can turn into just sort of like a highlight reel and all you're talking about is good stuff. And especially as coaches, I think it's really easy for people to get the wrong idea and just think that we just like, I don't know, have all this like passive income pouring in and just like lounge around all day and drink shakes and, you know. And obviously that's not the case. And we do have stuff that we struggle with and none of us are perfect. And getting out there and sharing that is what makes you guys relatable. It makes all of us relatable to people. And so I kind of think of it like when we're talking to coaches, and I don't know if you guys get this, but I get potential coaches say to me all the time, like, I'm not fit enough to be a coach and I don't know anything about fitness. And I always tell them, like, you just have to be a real person and you just have to be genuine and want to improve yourself. And so when we become coaches, I think personally we have the same obligation to just keep being really real and genuine with people. And, you know, that just makes somebody see that, like, you're just a real person and they can relate to you. So I think it's really, really crucial. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about some of the benefits of sharing a personal story and then share really quickly just some concrete tips that I have that I've picked up over the last month or so even. So, yeah, like I said, I think social media can really be a highlight reel if we're not careful. And when Carolyn asked me to talk about this, I had actually just watched a video by April McDonald, and she was talking about this as well. And she was basically saying, what you need to do is you need to hone in on the darkest phase of your life, and that's what you need to be sharing. And that's really hard to do, and I kind of felt really hypocritical even talking about that because, honestly, I haven't even done that myself truly yet. Like, I've posted some about my eating disorder background and things like that, which are relevant to fitness. But, like, I was, like, my actual darkest time I haven't really posted about, which was just, like, an abusive relationship I was in a few years ago. So, like, I never talk about that at all to any, like, this is the most people I've ever said that to. So, and that's exactly the point, is that I think we all need to dig really deep and find, like, the real darkest thing that we've been through. And so that's, like, my own personal challenge now, is to find a way in the next week to kind of post about that, even in the smallest way. Just because it lets people know that there are other people out there going through the same things that they might be going through. And if you don't share that, you know, they're not mind readers and they'll never know maybe that you went through something. So, yeah, I was, like, nervous to even say that. But that's, I think, what we have to each do is, like, really dig deep and share those really gritty things. And I think the benefit of this is not always, like, immediately going to be reflected in your paycheck. Like Carolyn said, the most important thing is that we're here to help people. And I know, like, I posted a before and after picture maybe a month ago of, like, me when I was kind of in my eating disorder phase, and it was really hard to post. Like, I paced around my living room for an hour, and I deleted it a couple times before I hit post. So it's not easy, but almost immediately I had, like, all these people messaging me out of the blue that I hadn't talked to since high school. And this girl was like, oh my God, like, I've been through the same thing and I've never talked about it. And thank you so much for giving me a way to talk about that kind of thing. And that's, like, an amazing feeling. So I think you guys should all have that feeling. And that's, like, really that's the core of this business to me, is just moments like that where you can really help somebody. And And that doesn't happen unless you just put it all out there, honestly. Like, you're not going to get that kind of interaction from, like, a sweaty workout picture or a picture of your food. Like, those are important too, but you really got to go deep and do things that are uncomfortable. So just a few tips. I have 4 tips for you guys that I think help with this. The main one is you don't feel like you have to, like, share everything all at once. Like, if you created a post that was like, oh, it's a relationship and eating disorder and, like, this struggle and that, like, that's just a lot to, like, throw on people, and it'll be overwhelming. So break it up, and that's a lot of material, you know, like, regardless of what your story is, like, we all have a lot of material to share over time, and you don't have to just get it out there all in one post. And that kind of brings me to my second tip, which, break it up, like, say it, put different spins on it and say it in different ways. And just because you posted about something once, don't assume that everybody's seen it and that you're, like, done. Because not everybody's going to be on social media that 1 10-minute time that you post something. So, you know, put a different spin on it and post it in different ways, but keep, like, getting that story out there, even if you feel like, I know sometimes I felt like, well, I've said it once, I don't need to say it again. And it kind of feels like a broken record on my end to say it again, but I know there are plenty of people that just never saw that post, you know? So you have to keep, like, continually, consistently, I think, getting it out there. The other thing is just lead with your fears. I heard this in a podcast, I think it was the National Wake Up Call one day. They were talking about, if you're terrified to do something, just, like, lead with your fears. So start your post with, like, this was really hard for me to share and I almost deleted it, but, and that gets people's attention. And then you can go into it, and you don't have to pretend like it's easy for you to post about, or, you know, you can say, like, this scares me to death to talk about. And I think I started my post with, like, I never thought I would post about this on social media, but, so just lead with your fears and just be real if it's scary, because that's the point. And finally, like, don't feel like you have to have some, like, dramatic before and after transitional story or anything. Like, you can share whatever. Like, we all have things we've gone through. I was at Super Saturday, and this girl was talking about, like, her big scary thing that she never wanted to share. She was, like, I think a 10-star coach now. She was saying, like, back in the day, like, she had to go to Taco Bell every night on her way home from work, and she would, like, binge eat Taco Bell every night in her room. And that was, like, really embarrassing and hard for her to share. She did it, and people started coming to her and being like, I did a similar thing, and, like, I never thought you had done, you know, I didn't know you'd gone through that too. So don't feel like it has to be some big, like, dramatic thing. It can be anything, and it doesn't have to be something that you've, like, overcome. Like, it doesn't have to be, like, a before and after. It can just be, like, a before and currently, you know? You don't have to, like, have overcome anything. And I heard a podcast also, I listen to a lot of podcasts, but someone was saying, like, if there's a scale of 1 to 10, and 10's a total expert, even if you're, like, a 4 in terms of expertise in something, you can still help all the people that are, like, 1s and 2s and 3s, you know? So you don't have to think of yourself as, like, some leading authority on anything. You just share what you've gone through. And that's really about all the tips that I have. So do any of y'all have any questions for either of us? No? Nothing? I can't tell if I'm hearing somebody talk or, like, TV in the background. Carolyn, you're muted.
Sorry.
There you go. No questions? Anything?
Bueller.
Okay. Should we count it down?
Yeah, I'll count down from 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Well, thank you all for being on the call. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
We hope you learned a lot from what we had to offer, and we look forward to Team Cut Month.
Woo-hoo. Thanks for watching, y'all.
See you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.